Hi, I'm Chris, and this happy little guy is Teddy, and together we are Our Time to RV. A few years ago, we downsized from a 3-slide, 35-foot fifth wheel to a 20-foot slide-in truck camper, and now have the flexibility to travel any place our 2016 Dodge Ram 3500 dually can take us. We love the outdoors and tend to gravitate to the state parks, national parks, Corps of Engineer locations, and boondocking sites, but do occasionally visit the private parks. We hope you enjoy the content. If so, please like and subscribe to our channel, then leave a comment telling us what you think. Thanks for watching.
Teddy and I are out hiking here at Stewarts Point. This is in Nevada, and we have a spot right on Lake Mead, and we're really enjoying it. It's overcast today, so we've hiked out far enough out this road that we've actually come to another location where people actually set up camp. And we're getting closer to the water down here, so we're going to see what it's like. See what there may be in the way of opportunities for the future. We came near or at the end of this little road here and found some other great places to set up camp on the water, near the water. Say hi, Teddy. Say hi, bud. Say hi, Teddy. Teddy and I are heading out to one of the points out here. And then we're going to run out of dry land. Holy smokes. These are great spots. Oh, wow. Looks like a coyote there. Right where we gotta go. We'll let him pass, do his thing. Well, we had to do a little bit of cross-country hiking to get back. No big deal. It was easy. We've got a little more than 3.5 miles in this morning. And man, found some great spots for the future. Teddy and I are just sitting here in the high winds, watching the waves lap up on the shoreline in the distance. Teddy and I are here at Stewarts Point, which is right on the edge of Lake Mead in Nevada here. We're in the Lake Mead National Recreation Area. It's our last full day here. We've been here for 4 days so far, I think. And we're moving on to a new location tomorrow. We've been here before. We really like it. As you can see, we've got a nice place right on the water, right on the edge there. We are probably not going to be able to enjoy too much today because they're talking about 50-mile-an-hour winds a little bit later on today. We've had about 20 right about now, steady 20 right now, with gusts higher than that, up to 30, but it's supposed to get worse. The forecast for high winds today has become a reality. We currently have a steady 20 to 25-mile-an-hour winds with gusts in excess of 40. Later today, sustained winds are to be 30 to 35 miles per hour with gusts in excess of 50 miles per hour. Already you can see a chop on the lake as whitecaps are starting to develop. When we occasionally get out of the camper to stretch our legs, we can't go very far as the winds push Teddy around, and me too. As a lead into our story about our near disaster, just want to show you a picture of a refrigerator vent that I installed at the top of the chimney stack about 1.5 years ago on the truck camper.
Since I've installed these, the OEM refrigerator fan has not had a need to kick on because this keeps a nice flow going and a cool breeze behind the refrigerator, what it needs in order to operate efficiently. So when the OEM refrigerator fan came on for the very first time this entire travel season, I had a compelling need to check what was going on, and the first thing I did was open up the back of the refrigerator to see if there's anything unusual. This is what the refrigerator looked like before, and just a little precursor here. What we have here is we actually have wires here that feed to this particular connector block. And this is where the positive and negative for the battery come in at. And then from there, it feeds electric DC out to a number of places. One of the places it does is out this connection here. If you look real close, it comes out here and into this fuse here. And then this fuse here actually feeds up into this block, which then goes into the control board. From there, there's wires that actually come out and across into this part of the refrigerator here, which is actually where the lead-in for the propane, if it runs on propane, there's actually a DC heating element, and there's also an AC heating element. So that's the high level. And when I came out and looked at the back of the refrigerator, I opened it up, and this is what I found. Now, it may be a little difficult to see, but jumping ahead here a little bit, this is the fuse, okay, that was once previously right here, okay? This is all that's left. That, and now ashes underneath it. And if you actually look, you can see here, this is one end of the connection of the fuse. And then over here, this is the other wire here. It's been burnt off. Notice here all of this charring. These wires were melted. None of them were compromised, but the housings were deformed. And so what must have happened was the connection on this fuse must have got loose. Resistance built up as a result of the lack of continuity or the decreased continuity, which led to it melting and probably a small little fire. I don't know. But the heat that was built up as a result caused the OEM refrigerator fan to kick on. So what I did was I actually ran a temporary fuse. It was an auto-resettable fuse in lieu of the blade fuse, this blade fuse right here. And what I did was I actually took this apart, actually covered these wires here, checked them to make sure they weren't compromised, wrapped them in electrical tape, put some wire loom around it, put again a standby fuse in place of it, then went out and got a standard blade fuse and brought it back to factory specs. Since then, everything's been fine, everything's been working, but it could have turned out to be a lot worse situation than it actually was, but everything's good now.
Teddy and I are out on our last morning here at Stewarts Point, getting ready to take off, head down the road. Happy to report that everything's working fine with the refrigerator. So we're going to stop at an auto parts on the way and get the replacement parts that I want to replace the auto resettable fuse with a blade fuse.
On our walk this morning, Teddy and I found this beautiful little cove with a campsite just above it, where we're currently standing. I'm not sure the campsite will be accessible to the truck, given the camber of the road and how loose the gravel is here.
Just a short walk this morning. As usual, we did some recon as well as stretching our legs. It's good to get out. I mean, the winds really died down. Teddy and I just arrived at Virgin River Canyon Recreation Area in Littlefield, Arizona, very northwest corner. Had to pass through Nevada to get to this little corner of Arizona, and only a couple miles up the road is the Utah state line. This is a beautiful area. It's literally down in the canyon. We're on the upper loop, and it's not too far off the highway, but there's not that much noise. It's $8 a night. There's an $8 reservation fee, so you got to add that on as well too. Teddy and I are taking a hike down into the canyon. Just got done with the repairs and needed a little relaxation time, so we're gonna check out what's down here without falling down the hill. Okay, we made it down to the bottom of the hill. Footing is a bit tenuous. You definitely have to be keeping an eye on where you're stepping. It's steep enough and it's loose enough and there's enough rock. You gotta be careful, but we're down at the bottom and we should be just over the ridge here to the water. I can hear it. There it is. Oh man, it's that beautiful. But you can see how high it can get at times as well too. Noticeably less wind down here. No surprise. In typical fashion, Teddy has to check out all the water he finds. We're gonna hike up the bank for a while here. See what we can find. Teddy's trying to take in all the scenery all at one time. He's going gangbusters here. What do you say, puppy? We found a little break in the vegetation, and I'm sure it goes down to the river, so that's where we're gonna go. To bend over quite a bit to make it through here. There it is. Not much of a riverbank here. Some ducks over there. Find an easier access point here with no vegetation. You can actually float a small kayak or canoe or something like that here. Very tranquil. Birds. Chirping in the background. Water rippling over the rocks. Teddy doing his thing. We had to stop for another watering. And I just got done taking a walk around the upper loop. You know, for $8, I mean, there's no services or bathrooms. I didn't check them out, but I assume that they're clean. There's garbage, but that's the only services you get. The staff here is nice. Teddy and I are out for our first walk here at Virgin River Canyon Recreation Area. It's barely 6 o'clock. And we're just gonna hike the campground. I haven't found much in the way of trails other than one that leads down to the river. But I'm gonna check that out as well. hiking the road down to the lower campground loop, and you may not be able to tell from the videos, but this is definitely a smaller of the two loops. Here the river is quite a bit more visible than where we are. It's a steeper drop and it's a deeper canyon where we are. Gotta keep an eye on my footing here while I'm trying to film at the same time. At the same time, trying to do so without making you guys crazy watching this. Just based upon the geography, I think that we're getting pretty close to being behind where we are in the campground. And we'll loop back up and then do a loop of our campground. Okay, we've gone beyond the park boundary. We're following this trail here to see where it goes. It's on a fairly steep side slope, so definitely require a little bit of footing, sure footing. And we may have just run out of trail, I'm not sure. We'll see here. Sure looks like it from here. Yeah, we've run out of trail. The only option is to go down into the flow area and then follow the river back. Or we'll take this trail that we came. And we'll probably do that. There we are. We've completed our walk this morning. A little over 2.5 miles. Not bad for the limited area that we have to walk. A good start. This is our last full day here at Virgin River Canyon. And late yesterday, we actually found a handful of trails that we can hike. And so that's what we're doing. There's not many, but there are some. And so we're going to enjoy the scenery here. At the same time, get a little exercise. And do a little recon on what the trail situation is here. So we're going to bring you along and hope you're enjoying the content. Well, the trail kind of ended abruptly here. And Teddy's down here getting a drink of water before we get started. So I got to go back and find out where the branch is. It supposedly head 2 miles downstream. Well, we picked up another trail heading further downriver. Let's see where this one takes us to. I can hear the water. What's down here, Teddy? Taking us down a trail through a bunch of thickets here. Gotta scooch down in order to get through. Sure is a beautiful hike down here. That's for sure. Well, this trail abruptly ends too. We're gonna double back and see if we can find other branches to take us down, further down. But I don't think it's gonna be on this side of the river. Because as you can see, that's it right there. Not even a ledge to walk across. Ooh, that's a surprise there. Maybe it won't. May not be a trail that leads up the edge of the water, but this is sure a nice place down here. We'll see. Maybe there is a trail there. We'll see. Well, there is no trail, but there's a beautiful spot where the river turns nice and lazy, and then get a little bit more current developed down there as it pinches down and goes over those rocks. Be a nice place to bring a chair and a picnic basket and just sit here and enjoy the water. We made it back a little over 2.5 miles. Good hike, nice views. And as much as I love the trails, they just weren't as long as I thought they might be, or expecting them to be. So, but still, it was nice.